Enrique, take one.
All right. You're listening to the Vicis Interimo show, 30 Minutes to Kill, more or less. A horror movie review podcast featuring horror, suspense, and psychological thrillers. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Podomatic, and just type in Vicis Interimo. I am Michael.
No, you don't have to read that. Just those first couple lines is perfect.
Okay.
Welcome to the Vicis Interimo 30 Minutes to Kill podcast.
You are listening to the Vicis Interimo show, 30 Minutes to Kill. More or less. The incredible podcast with the unpronounceable name.
I'm talking, well, nothing else was recording, and I'm probably not going to discuss much about what's going on here, except to say that was very interesting to see your dismount there. I'll give you a 10 out of 10 on that.
Thanks.
Yeah, so anyhow,
I didn't even fall over the couch onto my face.
No, you didn't. This may be just another one of my long list of bad ideas. Looks like you need something. Are you... Something missing? No?
Nope.
All right.
There's no toys or anything here.
I need a fidget spinner for you. And let's just do the podcast. How about that?
Let's do it.
We don't need any toys. We can just...
I'm hungry and ready to make some dinner.
All right. Well...
It's been a long day.
It's been a day, anyhow. Your dad's birthday, as a matter of fact.
It was Dad's birthday
Yes,
today.
It was. All right. So, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening here, but we are armed and ready to go. We should be recording. We're recording on both the Snowball, on our MP3 recorder, and so on. All right, so where are we at? We're at episode 313.
Can I have my Rick? He's right behind you.
Yes, 313.
Ender's in the way, though.
Yes. You don't want Ender to watch over you while you...
Maybe.
All right. What? I'm afraid to ask, but...
What?
What are you going to be doing with a Rick during the...
I don't know. Ender.
Episode.
Ender Wiggin.
People can't see that.
Why not?
Because they're not patrons. All right, so anyhow...
You're already We're not...
Yeah,
I mean,
this is it. This is the episode. Here we go.
No, but you never said, like, hello and welcome or anything.
I'm collecting my notes right now, and I'm getting to it. So... You are listening to the Vicis Interimo show. 30 Minutes to Kill, more or less. This is a bit redundant after actually having Enrique do our intro.
Oh, no, you're playing that too?
Yeah, all right.
Oh, dear.
We are a horror movie review podcast featuring horror, suspense, and psychological thrillers. I've only been doing this 8 years. You figure I'd get this by now. You can find us on iTunes, Stitchers, Podomatic, and just about anywhere. Just type in VICIS INTERIMO. I am your host, Michael Mad Saxon Jones, here with my lovely wife, Lori, and co-host, Jess.
That's me.
Yeah, we generally have 4 segments to each show. Laid to Rest, where we recap loose ends from old shows. A short movie review. Our featured movie is Psych 9.
Yeah.
And Garbage In, Garbage Out, where we talk about movies, TV shows, anything that we may have caught over the last week or so. Maybe a few Christmas presents, I don't know. And we end with a Crawling Chaos, a topic or factoid that we have never talked about on the show before. Sometimes silly, sometimes serious, most always...
chaotic.
All right.
My friend Kim sent this to me.
You're kind of missing the point. This is supposed to be how an episode actually goes. Anyhow...
I found this in my Christmas stocking.
So... what do we have to cover from the last show?
I don't know. Laid to rest. Any loose ends?
Laid to rest. Anything? It's been so long. The last show, the last podcast, official podcast, new podcast, was Holidays. That was some time ago, of course. But
anything you want to add to that?
Nothing more to add to that. We did our top 5 films of 2017.
Aside from Kevin Smith is overrated.
Yeah. And I believe that we mentioned that wardrobe in part provided by Dinos of Las Vegas for all the finest in pop culture teas.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So.
A few weeks ago, I talked about Kiva.com, which is a place if you're looking for a. I don't want to say a charity because it's actually a microloan company, but if you're looking to put a little money towards something to help somebody, we talked about Kiva. And I was going to give an update on that because the microloans I chose, the people I chose to help out, are paying me back.
All right.
Money's rolling back in.
Awesome.
So it's a cool thing.
Now, it's not a get-rich type thing. It's more just helping folks out that
get your money back. You can loan as little as $25, and you get back your $25.
Okay, you're not making money out of it. It's not a profit type thing. No. Okay.
So there's my update. Well, because when we said, I was like, well, I loaned to 2 people. There is risk involved.
Right.
You don't know if they're going to actually pay you back or not, but they're paying me back. And this month I chose a 3rd person. So
nice. Okay.
Well, yeah, you get your money back, and then you can loan it to somebody else. So there's my update on that. Anything else?
No, I think that's probably it. Yeah, so let's get right into talking about Psych 9. Normally I'd have you read the synopsis.
Yeah.
But I'll take a stab at it.
Good luck.
My glasses just aren't doing it for me. Anyhow.
Look at Ender's the back of his pants.
He has a moon flap? What?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Some nightmares are just dreams.
We believe that the killer attacks his victims from behind and then claws at them.
Others are real.
Can I ask you something? Why do you want to work the night shift?
I kind of need the peace and quiet.
And you're not worried about being here alone? You know, in light of what's been happening?
This place can be a little unsettling at times.
Someone must know who this man is. A wife? Girlfriend?
What are these X's here? They're where the murders have occurred.
Yeah, all within the 2-mile radius.
But this street here?
This hospital.
You think it's me? You think I'm the Night Hawk?
Deep in her mind lies secrets.
The root of your problem lies buried somewhere in your past, Roslyn.
It's time to confront your demons. Cary, Elwes, Sara Foster. Psych 9. Look for it on Blu-ray and DVD.
I got that for you because you were so into the books, or at least the initial stories, or you forced yourself
Well, it all went downhill from Ender's Game.
All right. Psych 9 is what we're talking about.
Yes.
Yes, this is a 2010 movie. While trying to recover from disturbing events in her life, Roslyn, Sara Foster, starts working nights organizing patient records at a closed-down hospital. But disconcerting events occur. I'm just making my own stuff out.
What though?
Well, no, but it's because it's written poorly.
That's believable.
Yeah, anyhow. Disconcerting occurrences while she is alone in the building at night seem to point to recent murders. Now she must resolve the mystery of her own past, or she may become the next victim.
Okay.
Cary Lewis? Elwes?
I have no idea.
Michael Biehn, we know him. Anyhow, they also star in that. Yeah.
Who's Michael Biehn?
You know who Michael Biehn is. Terminator's dad.
That's right. You told me that when we were... He played the sheriff in this movie.
Exactly. How could the detective? And yes, how could you not recognize him? All right. Well, you know what? That's the problem with this movie. Wow, we're jumping right straight to the end. It's kind of a hollow movie. It was great while we were watching it.
Okay. I wouldn't say great.
It was good. It was solid. Relatively solid.
I had written that it was. What does this mean? I wrote it was slow but moving quickly.
Okay.
Huh. And then I wrote that there was enough there to keep me invested.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, that's what I was saying.
I did write that it had weird editing and the jumping made things hard to follow time wise because like the girl would be doing something and then all of a sudden it would look like it was the next day.
Okay.
Or night, I should say.
Right.
Okay, let's go back.
Right. Back from the beginning. Very beginning, opening credits.
Yes.
I love the Rorschach Ingblots.
Yeah.
I love the title sequence as it began. It went a little long.
Okay. It was very long.
But it was very good. I enjoyed that.
Okay, so you like the opening credits?
I did.
Okay.
Yes.
And then it starts out. You you tried to read the synopsis there. You got part of it in there. Basically, this girl is working graveyard shift in a hospital.
Chooses to work graveyard shift.
Yes, because her husband drives cab.
Right.
In the middle of the night. Yes. He works graveyard, so she got a job also working graveyard. This is a hospital that they're getting ready to tear down.
Right.
So she's in there collating the records and packing up all of that stuff.
Right.
That's what she's supposed to be doing anyway.
She's supposed to be doing.
Her name is Roslyn.
She's supposed to be spending her time there by herself or alone. There's a guard outside the hospital and so on.
Her first night she works with a girl who's very nice and the girl's like, after this I'm not going to be with you. I'm just here to show you the ropes and after this you'll be working alone, but it's okay. Don't worry because there's the doctor, I couldn't remember if she said his name or not, but we won't go too much into that. There's a Dr. Clements anyway working on an upper floor. So she lets her know, the psych ward, there's actually somebody working up there. The doctor is up there.
Doing the same thing, essentially, because they're going to be confidential records, especially because they're... They deal with psychology. They deal with psychiatric patients. And
right. So that's our opening thing. And when we get to meet her husband, she comes home from work in the morning, and he's already arrived at the house, and he's in bed asleep already. And I got a feeling right away that they weren't getting along for some reason. Because she doesn't really say hello to him. They were, it wasn't like, oh, honey, I'm here. It was like, I'm going to get into bed and turn my back to you and make sure I'm sleeping all the way on the edge of the bed.
I was going to say, speaking from experience, one of the things possibly is that she works all night, he's gone all day. My ex and I had that similar schedule where she shows up, well, whatever. She worked daytimes, I work nightimes.
Well,
those kind of relationships.
That's not what was going on here, though.
Well,
they both work graveyard together.
Yeah, well, like you said, though, he comes in and he's up for the day, and anyhow, they're kind of living separate lives up to this point.
Okay.
And so maybe that was her effort to try to make things work a little bit better, was trying to work similar hours to what he did. But yes, your point is...
Well, because sometimes she'd come home and he wouldn't be there yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that leads to... Well, so anyhow, my first note here, other than liking the ink blots, is that there's auto creepy triggers in here. You're in an abandoned hospital.
Yes.
You've started one of the opening sequences is a murder taking place. The way it was shot, also, like, there's a lot of things. A lot of things just like set up right from the beginning of the movie.
Well, and the interesting thing about that is, because it was the very opening scene, this thing happens, and then it shifts into the story and introduces the characters that you're going to be following.
Right.
I'd totally forgotten about that opening scene.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did.
That was always in the back of my mind the whole time
I'd forgotten.
I was watching it. Okay. So then my next note is it's a little too art house, a little too cool, the dialogue. Things felt a little forced. It felt a little forced. You know what I mean? We talk about natural speaking and natural writing and things that make sense as far as that go.
Well, when the story unfolded and the ending was revealed and things were revealed, you didn't forgive those things?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I got past it.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Sure, yeah, I do.
We don't want to spoil stuff.
Well, because I have my other notes, odd editing, odd sequencing, some of the things you said.
Yeah.
Starts to have a dreamlike quality. And then my next note here is you realize you're dealing with an unreliable narrator.
Right. Well, you don't know if she's unreliable or not.
You start to suspect that as well, I guess my point. So speaking in literary terms, you know what I mean? She starts to, for me, can I trust what she's saying? Maybe, and that's the whole point. There's plenty of red herrings. There's a mystery
There's tons of red herrings.
Unpack here. We didn't talk about, or I didn't mention yet, that her boyfriend looked an awful lot like James Spader's son, maybe?
Husband.
Her husband, yes, looked like it could have been James Spader's son.
Remember you saying that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of funny.
Anyhow, what else did you have to say?
Not a whole lot. Not much more than that.
So the point...
We can't... I mean, because obviously it's a movie that you watch that you're just waiting to see. You've got all these theories as to who's doing what.
So you're waiting for the reveal.
Yeah.
And so on, yeah.
Do you feel like the reveal at the end... Do you feel like you understood everything and that you got everything that...
I think so. I think I did. I think I understood it.
Okay.
And that's what I was saying.
I did too. Some people wrote reviews online where they were like, I don't quite understand. Like, they still weren't sure who was doing what by the end of the movie. Yeah,
okay. I guess so. I think I got it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, like I said, this is one of those, I want to describe it as a hollow movie. It's great while you're watching it, or it's good, whatever.
Yeah.
You're invested while you're watching it.
Yeah, it was entertaining enough.
A year from now, when they're doing our top 5 of 2018.
Oh, I'm having trouble now recalling everything. We just watched it 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, and I'm having trouble.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can finish what you were going to say now.
That's what I was going to say. Are you going to remember this one? Did it add anything to the genre? Is it worth... So...
Yeah, a year from now when we're reviewing our podcast... Yeah, I know already I'm going to ask you, which one was Psych 9 again?
I'll be able to tell you, but... It maybe won't have. It did have a few things that, like I said, a few things that struck home. Just in the fact, I made a note here.
Aside from not wanting to sleep with your spouse, that hit home with me too. Oh, I mean,
maybe a little too much information. Maybe an overshare there. You mean previous? We both mean previous spouse. Anyhow,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Here's the other nerve that it touched.
I'm not talking about you.
Was feeling.
I didn't want to sleep anywhere near my first spouse. It had nothing to do with our hours that we worked.
Getting back on track.
Yes.
So feeling violated watching her go through the medical records. Because that's something else
that bothered you?
Well, yeah, actually it did. Specifically because I know how I felt when a friend, an acquaintance, somebody that I knew, that I grew up with, was allowed to go through all of my school records. Don't fall out of that chair.
I'm not going to.
That would be so hilarious and so sad.
I was getting a candy cane.
Okay. A pickle candy cane, no less.
This is a dill pickle candy cane. Dill pickle candy cane.
It's not as bad as you think.
Just saying.
Anyhow, my friend was allowed to go through all of my records and pulled out...
Why?
Embarrassing. They were destroying them. I was out of school, and it was a year or so after I graduated.
Oh, no, so your friend was like, hey, I got to go through the...
And he may have even taken or had, records that my aunt had written in kindergarten and stuff, explaining why I couldn't celebrate holidays and so on.
Right.
So I definitely felt violated.
Well, there's no secrets in Three Rivers.
Well, here's the thing, here's the thing, too. HIPAA laws, so many things were
Yeah.
Whatever. Those were minor hang-ups that I had or whatever. But
I had a job like that when I worked for the school right over here.
Mm-hmm.
They had all of my the letters I wrote when I was trying to get a job there and all of this and that. And someone who was just another teacher who I worked with actually got to be director one day, and she's like, oh, I found all these letters, like the first letters you ever wrote, like, you know, when it was a long time ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, first of all, you guys kept those, and then second of all, get out of my file. Like, I don't care that you're allowed to look at all this stuff now. Don't be pulling that stuff out and showing it around. I don't know. It was a little weird.
So it could be a little.
It made me want to go in and remove my file.
So anyhow, there are little things. Like watching this movie, I can confidently give it a 3.
Okay.
But a very low recommend.
All right.
So it was good if you're going to spend your time watching it. Watch it. Maybe you like it. Maybe you won't.
Well, a 3
means I liked it.
I liked it.
Yeah.
So.
But I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, I'm going to agree with that because there's no way I can get as high as a 4 with it.
No.
Because I didn't really like it.
Everything was there.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine. But that was it. It was just fine.
All right. Well.
So a low recommend. So would you recommend it to certain?
I don't even know who I'd recommend it to. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't even a strong story to say, well, here's a good mystery.
Well, yeah, and
if you want to see Michael Biehn in something, if you haven't seen him, if you Cary Elwes, I'm mispronouncing his name, I'm sure. But if you missed him since The Princess Bride, you know, being Wesley.
Well, and also...
It's terrible. We remember actors for one thing and refer to them that forever.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
That'd be Todd.
Okay.
It's not even... Like, a lot of times, these kind of movies... Okay, Psych 9, obviously it's a psychological thriller. There's mental illness. There's stuff like that.
Right.
As a person who chose psychology as their field of study... you know, I have my degree in psychology. I'm obviously very interested in the topic. Like, I still kind of feel like there was nothing here.
Okay.
It didn't, you know what I mean? There wasn't enough. You can't just say, oh, this person's crazy in doing this. Like, there has to be more.
You can't use that technical term of crazy.
Well, you're not, so I really shouldn't be. I'm not allowed to use that term, and I just said it. I'm not supposed to say that.
Well, you're describing it. Yeah.
Yes. But that's what I'm saying. It was so, it just let you know who was maybe mentally ill and like, here's the things they're doing, but it didn't go any deeper than that. I like to know why and how and what, like what's the diagnosis. I want to know what they're suffering from, and I want to know if the writer did a good job
researching it and
doing putting in the symptoms of whatever illness somebody would have. This just kind of glazed over, all like none of that mattered.
Okay. Well,
so I can't even.
That's what I mean about us.
Every so often I see a movie where I'm like, this would be great to show a psychology class. Because I had a couple different teachers that were very big on showing us movies, you know, not movies that they made for psychology students, but actual, you know, theatrical release movies that he felt did a good job. Yeah. And this is not one of those.
Okay.
This is like the exact opposite.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it. Psych 9. Meh. You know, okay, solid acting, solid lighting, special effects, all that stuff was pretty good.
If you can watch it for free and you're just looking for something to check out while you're doing something else, or which I wouldn't normally ever recommend. I mean, like, you know, you're going to sit down and eat dinner there on your TV tray in front of your TV, put it on, but I wouldn't make a big production out of it or sit down and think you're really going to get a great film.
I gotcha.
I don't know.
Okay. So, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
There's a lot to cover.
We did leave the rest of the beginning.
I know, and like one of the things I just came across was I realized when I did, I mispronounced Colossal. Is the movie we saw with Anne Hathaway, not Colossus.
Right.
So I did Colossus and Anne Hathaway. I got some real interesting fan fiction art
Oh.
Yeah.
I love Anne Hathaway.
Oh, other people do too.
She's a fearless actress. Excuse me, actor. You're not allowed to say actress anymore.
And they're big fans of X-Men
sexist.
too, evidently. I'm going to step away for just 1 second.
I could think of all kinds of Colossus things that were probably going on.
Oh my God.
Wait, where are you going?
I'm running to check for my notes.
I need to make dinner.
Kind of happens on a weekly basis where I've got my notes and then I forget where I put
Oh wait,
them.
you came back without them.
I came back without them.
So, well,
here's some of the movies that we want to talk about. First of all, we've been playing some video games.
I was going to say, look at your artwork. Did you make the artwork yet?
Yes.
What ones did you put in the artwork?
Well, first of all, how about going to see Justice League?
Yes.
Last year. But yeah, we saw Justice League in the theaters.
Last year. Come on, we only just started January.
Exactly. Enjoyed that immensely.
Yes.
Good. DC finally hit one out of the park.
Yeah.
Or got a solid base hit there. I mean,
I
a good home run with it at least.
Yeah. I didn't see Green Lantern in there, but there
was a little hint you saw in there. Okay.
I saw a Green Lantern.
Yes,
but that was like 1,000 years ago. They were referring to a battle that happened.
The other thing then was Our Gang. Caught a few episodes of that. One of your Christmas presents. Did you forget that?
One of my Christmas presents. I bought that for myself.
Oh well, okay, that works too.
Yeah, the Little Rascals are Our Gang.
Yeah.
Hey, it's on Amazon for $30. You could get every Our Gang Little Rascals short they ever made. That is a box set that is chock full of goodness. If you grew up watching them like I did, oh my gosh, and they are hilarious.
Still funny to this day.
They are so funny.
Other people would argue probably, that's not politically blah blah blah, but
they shouldn't.
I mean, yeah,
they shouldn't.
Child labor laws and all that other stuff. Anyhow, whatever.
Well, it was one of the first, because they started making them in the late 20s.
Yep.
And they were one of the first ones to show kids of different nationalities playing together.
Right.
In different, they don't use the term race anymore. They've determined that is not a thing.
Okay.
But different ethnicities and colors and all these different kids playing together as equals. There are some funky comments and things that could be, these days you go, you might raise your eyebrows.
Can't say that now, but keep it in context and everything else.
Yeah, that wasn't their intention back in the 1920s.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They just wanted to show kids together doing stuff.
Dead Rising. Played a little bit of Dead Rising, yes. Yeah, the video game.
Video game.
Yes.
I was racking my brain. I'm like, what movie was that?
Movies and stuff, we've had a chance to catch up on a few things. Just going to bring up that we caught up with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we're all caught up.
We're all caught up with Game of Thrones and stuff now.
Yes.
And that's really the ones that I had to talk about, or at least I included in the artwork.
What's the video game Dead Rising?
That's a zombie, a fun, fantastic zombie romp through a zombie infested, as compared to the other one I'm playing. Well, I wasn't going to talk about it yet, but Survival Instinct, complete opposite. Not complete opposite.
It's the Walking Dead.
It's the Walking Dead version of it, and I realize these are old games and other people I'm sure have played. And it's not entirely realistic, but definitely more realistic than Dead Rising 2.
Well, I'm looking forward to trying Dead Rising myself.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah. Since I'm screaming at you to go save those people.
Go save them. Go
do this. Go do that.
All right.
Now we're going to be fighting over the Wii U anyway, because we have a ton of really awesome Wii U games.
Ton of games. We got a ton of movies.
I'm going to be taking it over soon.
We've got.
I'm going to be playing Zelda.
All kinds of stuff going on. Anyhow, but that's here or there. That's our garbage in, garbage out. We just kind of rushed right into that.
My stomach is growling.
Is it? All right. Well, let's wrap this up.
My stomach is eating itself. I'm so hungry.
A huge thank you. I mentioned our patrons. I didn't say who they were.
Who are they?
Who are they? They are, in order of appearance, At Lonely Bob. Not sure. Well, yeah, okay. For the Patreon page, anyhow.
Yeah.
At Lonely Bob.
Thanks.
At Lonely Bob. Big Al V. And
Yay.
Goldafish.
Thanks,
our
you
patrons.
guys.
We absolutely thank you. I don't know what you think about what's going on here now.
They're not watching anymore, probably.
They probably tuned out. And this was just a fun thing to do one time, just to see how chaotic and ridiculous it is. We need to do our Crawling Chaos then.
Do you have
before
one?
you fall asleep? I do. So here's my favorite, one of my favorite expressions, especially in the job that I have right now, because I work in durable medical goods. So I.
Why don't you tell us what durable medical goods are?
Durable medical, like hospital beds, wheelchairs, things like that. Okay, so I was working as a pharmacy tech. We also sold this. I got away from the pills and the malpractice. No, we got away from the pressures of filling prescriptions.
You didn't want to hold other people's lives in your hand?
And get paid nothing for it. No, I did not want to do that. I want to get paid nothing to sell people. No.
I was going to say, you still get...
So anyhow, moving along. That's what I do now.
I just wanted people to know what durable medical goods are.
Okay, so it's hospital bed, but things like that. But our shop is
you work in a mobility store.
There's a lot of different things. It could be a lot of things, and it does, we do cushions, and we do all kind of wide variety. Doesn't matter. Though I am doing a podcast, I'm trying to set up a podcast for them, which is something else. Anyhow, Crawling Chaos. What is crawling? In my job, I often use the word Zoftig.
You don't just use that at your job.
I don't. I use it lots of places.
You've been using that since the day I met you.
Well,
wait, that doesn't sound right.
Probably not back then. Margaret Cho was the one that I first heard use this. But
I was gonna say when we reunited the second time around, that word was wedged into my
German word.
Yes.
It's a
Zoftig Todd.
It's a polite word for overweight.
Yes.
Or fat.
Well, see, now, I've always heard Zoftig was not like...
No.
Really large, but like, that's why I said Zoftig Todd. Like, chubby Todd.
Chubby, okay.
Chubby.
So that's it. So that's it. So anyhow, my point is, and I'm going to generalize and just lump everybody in here and say the Germans...
Yes.
As a people in general, use a lot of, or have a vocabulary that a lot of times touches on things that we don't normally do, and they have words for it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I've got a video, and again, we're back to going to lots of hand gestures. Anyhow.
I know. It's because you're being videoed, so you're more animated.
Anyhow.
Actually, you look about like you always do.
Yeah, that's true. So... I've got a video, though, that goes into some words that are compound words that Germans use to describe things that, again, touch on those areas of those aspects of life that we don't normally discuss. But there's a word for it. I guess that's my point.
Okay.
And it's fascinating. It was fascinating to me. I liked looking at this, reading it. They go through maybe half a dozen, 7, 8, 10, 12 words or whatever that are just...
Zoftig isn't on there, though.
Zoftig isn't one of them.
Because I was going to say, that's something that Americans love to talk about Zoftig people and point them out. And
well, I was going to say, Margaret Cho actually brought that up because the writer who was critiquing her performance brought up the fact that she was a Zoftig performer.
Okay.
They didn't want to call her a fat whatever. Right. So they left it at that.
Well, Zoftig always sounds better.
Sure. So there you go. But anyhow, there are words and terms and stuff that there's a link in the show notes. Where are the show notes? Where can you find those? Here we go.
I don't know.
I remember. You can get in contact with us directly by emailing me at madsaxon, MADSAXXON, at yahoo.com. Look us up on Facebook. Just punch in VICISINTERIMO. or Frenemy S. Michael Jones. Podomatic is where our podcast is. So if you want to go there, and lots of people have, you can click on our notes. We always try to include links to everything that we talked about in our show, including the movie
trailers and
everything else. Yeah.
Whatnot.
This other link will be available exclusively for the patrons, should they choose to.
And for those that are just listening, what are you referring to, pray tell?
Well, we have a Patreon page.
No, well, you said this link will only be for the patrons.
Well, I wasn't going to talk about that, but okay. So
for those who are listening and don't realize,
have no idea. Obviously, we filmed this entire episode.
Yeah, this is a terrible video.
And
actually, it's wonderful because it's just you.
Well,
I could look at you all day and night.
Yeah.
I often do.
This, for better or worse, I thought at least one time we should put out there what we do and how awful it is. Because you see, everybody has a podcast these days, and everybody knows how easy it is, so everybody wants to do one, and now they'll realize how lame it is, and they'll probably get over it.
Maybe.
I'm protecting my domain.
Hey, at least we've been doing it for a lot of years now.
We've been doing it for a lot of years, yeah. We're kind of hopeless at this point. Yeah, so anyhow, why Germans can say things no one else can say. I'm going to include that link in the notes.
Okay, that's kind of fun.
It is kind of fun, I guess.
Should send that to Melanie. Her dad always thought I was Zoftig. I'm Zoftig now. I wasn't back then. I don't know what word he'd use to describe me now.
Right. I think we need to bring this train wreck to a close.
He used to poke at my belly and stuff.
Oh my gosh, that's my job.
I didn't even have a belly at the time.
Wow.
But he'd poke at it anyway.
You could probably sue him the way everybody else is going.
Oh, no. I love him.
All right.
He can call me Zoftig and
all right.
Pinch my fat, I guess.
Yikes. Before this train wreck goes completely off the rails into the gulch. And
that sounded really bad.
It did. So, anyhow, thanks for listening. Thank you guys if you stuck out to this end.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
There's no way they watch till the end of this.
I don't think.
I wanted hand puppets and stuff, but
where's your little hand puppets for the?
Yes. Oh man, another time perhaps.
If I ever do this again.
That's why as soon as we sat down, I started. I have toys all over the house, but I sat down and there was nothing here. That's not right.
That's not right. All right.
I'm sticking my finger in my nose.
Luckily, you're not on camera.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening. Read one more time, and it's actually pronounced
Vicis Interimo.
That's okay.
Vicis Interimo.
And if you'll spell it out, it is Stitcher. It is Stitcher. And just spell out at the end there, type VICIS. I should put hyphens in there, whatever it indicates.
Gotcha.
Here we go. Enrique, take 2.
You're listening to the Vicis Interimo Show. 30 minutes to kill, more or less. A horror movie review podcast featuring horror, suspense, and psychological thrillers. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Podomatic, and more. Just type in VICIS INTERIMO.
Perfect. Thank you.